crazy cars from Rexton.
Yeah, mate.
This Rex is the man. Thanks. What are? Oh! How are we, guys?
Hey, look, I mean, that's up to man.
Sign it any way you want it. I've been watching you guys for like the longest time. Yeah.
Give you this.
Nice car, man. Thanks. You go.
Thank you to everyone who came down last Saturday to Shinefest, an event that we held at Autobahn Melton last week, October the 12th. It was an absolutely insane event. We had way more people turn up than we thought we would. Without you, without your support, coming up to me and also buying stuff from the Benki booth, none of this would be possible. I also want to say thank you to Autobahn for, of course, hosting this, and Mike Lake, Keep It Reet, and all the other car care brands that you guys know and love, because it was an insane event. Now, we also released a new hoodie at the event, these Benki spec hoodies in memory of the old Lancer. We got the Benki version Toge on the front, and on the back we of course have the Lamborghini. Some little Easter eggs in the text right here, so go have a read if you grab one of these. Super stoked with this design, and you guys love these hoodies at the event. We don't have too many left. If you want a loose fit, make sure that you size up. If you want like a true to fit size, then obviously grab your size. But yeah, these are the new hoodies, and yeah, thanks to everyone who grabbed one. It was also one of the first years that we set up the booth, the Benki Spec official booth. Chloe and I customized a gazebo. We got our Benki branding on it. We set up clothing racks and everything. We're really trying to up the game this year on merch, and also, you know, going into next year, because obviously it's a big way to help support these builds. But yeah, Shinefest was a crazy successful event. We had so many people turn up. A lot of you guys were actually super stoked to see the Lancer over the Chaser, which I found quite amusing. Now today, of course, we are going to be working on the Lamborghini. In the last video, we changed up the front bumper. We put this Evo replica front bar on, including the spotlights that these things have factory. It looks absolutely sick. However, the engine bay just looks crap, man. The engine bay doesn't even look like there's much going on. It does look relatively stock in here, which is very ideal. The turbo's underneath the manifold, and you can't even really see the turbo. But we still need to do the breathers on the valve cover, because currently they're just exposed. This one's obviously functional right now, but we need to install a catch can. What I'm gonna do is take the valve cover off, take off the old breathers, and weld on some -8 fittings, because we want a proper breather setup on this thing, because the other Lancer actually breathed quite a bit, and we had a lot of stuff collect in that oil catch can, surprisingly. So this is probably gonna do the same thing, and I want the motor to last, so let's chuck a catch can on this thing. Valve cover's now off. This car hasn't done that many kilometers, but it looks pretty dark in there. Look at that. Now we also have these seals that I need to replace, and they just sort of slip on and off like so. They seal the spark plugs from the valve cover. They are all bad. That was relatively easy though. Only took about 5 minutes or so. I'm just gonna put some plastic over this while we work on the valve cover. We're just gonna go ahead and remove the seal, because we're not gonna be using the old one, of course, and I'm gonna basically strip this down and clean it up. Oh. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna clean this up, and we're gonna cut and weld on these fittings. These are -8 stainless steel fittings from Raceworks, of course, and they're just gonna be a bigger size than the standard hole to allow the motor to breathe a little bit better. Now, if you don't understand why you need to do this, basically if you turbo a motor that's not supposed to be turboed, there's gonna be a lot more pressure, crankcase pressure I think it's called, and that pressure needs to go somewhere. Now you can vent it back into the motor to let it burn again, or you can vent it to a catch can. The catch can is going to safely collect all the unburnt, oily, watery mixture that is going to come out of your crankcase. Without a catch can, having it go back into your intake is going to cause your intake to get all sludgy and then make your engine less efficient. Basically, it's like a power mod. Hope I explained that good. Anyway, we've got ourselves a -8 fitting. Oh my god. This surprisingly already fits right here. Look at that, right in the standard PCV valve. So we don't need to do any cutting there, which is fantastic. We do also want to put one right here, but as you can see, there is this thing here. So we're gonna have to chop that off, drill, and then see what we can do with that. We got the hole drilled now to fit that -8 fitting. Like I said, we don't need to modify this, so we're just gonna start cleaning this and prepping it for paint. What do you want to say to the fans?
Thank you for everyone who said hi to me at the car meet. Shout out to Ollie and his brother. And Rexton got me EP8. Pog.
The valve cover is now relatively clean. All we need to do is just scuff up the paint, the factory paint on this valve cover, and then we can begin welding. So I'm just gonna use some Scotch-Brite, scuff this up, or maybe some wire wheel, and then hopefully we can weld them on nicely. We're finally ready to weld. We've got the valve cover clean, and we also have the fitting just placed on the hole on the passenger side. As you can see, it's just sitting there. It doesn't actually fit right in the hole, but you know, the diameter of the actual hole in the fitting will match up to the diameter of the hole that we've made. So, and see how we go. We are now done welding. Here are the welds. They look pretty good. I'm very happy with them. I just sprayed this down with water just to clean it up, but yeah, this weld is really good. You can obviously see where the heat's like sort of melted off the paint, but this weld is like basically perfect. Really stoked with that. And then we also have this weld, which isn't the best. It's not the worst, but it'll do. Okay, we've got the primer. I'm not going to show you what color we've picked yet. It's a special color inspired by Turbo Tristan. If you know, you know, but before we do that, of course, we need to prime the surface. Like I said, inspired by Tristan. This is fluoro yellow from Bunnings, and it's a silly color, and I wouldn't use this on any other car but the Lancer, but because the Lancer's a fun little car that we just do silly things on, I'm going to use this paint. And I've seen Tristan use this paint a lot, and Tristan's the one who's actually shown me how to do painting as good as this. So I basically am giving him credit for all my paint work, because Tristan knows how to paint stuff good. It's now been a few hours since we laid that last coat of that highlighter color. Check this out. The camera doesn't even like pick up the color because it's just so bright. You can see like the contrast right now. Everything's dark around the camera and everything's super bright on the actual valve cover because it is so damn bright. This color is insane. Okay guys, we just finished installing the valve cover. Check this out. Holy moly. Bruh. I'm pretty happy with this paint job. It wasn't 100% perfect, but now we have the fittings installed. We can now install the catch can.
Think it's really bright.
Yeah.
I like it. I didn't expect it to be so bright because I saw a picture of it beforehand and I thought I don't know, it looks like kind of metallic-y, so that's what I was expecting. But no, it's just like super duper like ultra highlight yellow bright, and it's so bright.
We've just got Chloe polishing up her headlights because for some reason one of the headlights is super dull. This is the passenger side and this one is the driver's side, so need to polish both of these. Have fun.
Thank you. I will.
So we of course are going to be using this Raceworks catch can. I forgot what size it is, but it does use -8 fittings on both the inlines. This is a vented catch can and it also has the drain just at the bottom here, but it's going to be kind of tricky to fit this in the engine bay because there's not crazy amount of room, but I'm thinking of putting it just around there. I reckon that'll be mint. Maybe about there. Okay, here's my little lazy bracket installed. It's literally just a bar of metal with another hole in the middle where we'll be able to mount one point of the catch can, so we're only gonna use one tab. I've also got a 90-degree fitting on the valve cover. I didn't realize how high this would stick up. Yeah, it should be fine. We have the catch can now mounted. I decided to put a riv nut in the bracket that we made, so it was just easier to install this and take it off whenever we need. Now we need to just basically make the lines going from here to there and to there. We've got some -8 rubber braided line and we're going to be of course using that. I've already done a million videos on how to do fittings on hoses. If you want to learn how to do this, then make sure you just go look up a tutorial. It's pretty simple, especially with rubber. It's very easy to do, but yeah, I'll get back to you soon. We are now done installing the breather lines going to the catch can, and guys, it looks insane. I am so stoked with how this has turned out. Look at that. It is so bright. There is such a big contrast between the silver and the highlighter color. Bro, how good does this look? I even went ahead and chucked the pod filter on, but I did take the car for a test drive around the block, and the pod filter seems to get rid of a lot of the dose, especially because we have the mass airflow sensor connected as well, which of course this engine needs. Man, I am so stoked with how this is turning out. It's like a mini Evo. I also went ahead and painted this heat shield right here, just to sort of make everything nice and tidy. Obviously I need to paint the extractors as well because they're obviously very brown and don't match how clean the rest of the car looks. Now I do need to mount this fuel pressure regulator somewhere because it's literally held on by zip ties, so I might go ahead and do that because that's pretty pathetic on my part. And also this boost controller, which is just hanging by. It looks like I'm gonna need to make a new line in order to relocate this fuel pressure regulator because this was suited to the 4G15 with deleted AC. So we're just gonna remove this. Fuel's gonna go everywhere, unfortunately. So I'm thinking of mounting the regulator right around there. You see that little hole right there in the intake manifold? It's not used for anything, but I think I could space that out and use a bolt to just hold it in place there, but then I'm gonna have to relocate the fitting on this side to put on that side. That's the great thing about these regulators. You can sort of customize them the way that you need to have them running. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, we've now installed the fuel pressure regulator on a bracket. As you can see, it's actually held on now, not by zip ties. I'm pretty stoked with this. It's super clean actually. Had to remake the line. It's on a bit of an angle, but it should be okay. And then we've still got the vacuum line going there as well. And you can still see the gauge there. So pretty good setup. We now have a bracket for the boost solenoid. Look at that. So, just like on the fuel pressure regulator, we used a factory hole in the engine. Not too sure why there's so many tapped threads on these 4G93s, but they're there. One concerning thing is that it gets hot around here, so we need to be very careful. We might actually damage the Mac valve, but you know, it is what it is if it does. We've only connected one bolt on, so there's a little bit less surface area on the back of the Mac valve, so it can have some cooling. But yeah, that is looking sweet. All right, reactions to my valve cover.
Ah. It sticks out in a very dirty, disgusting engine bay.
TT style. All right, we got the Tasmanians in the car. And we're gonna go for a rip.
No, slow down, slow down.
Oh, whoa, look at that. She rips, mate.
She's spinning.
Yeah, man. I want you to tell me what you think of this compared to the 1.5 when we give it a bit of a pull. Because, yeah, you helped me build the 1.5.
Did indeed.
Custom manifold, worked pretty good.
Now we've upgraded.
That's
More
it.
torque.
Second gear pull, 3,000 RPM.
That is awesome. That boogies.
But we got no limiter, Ollie.
What happened?
Where did my limiter go?
I took this thing for a drive yesterday, and I was in first, and I decided to do a launch, and I wasn't even paying attention to the tachometer. I think I hit about nearly 8,000 RPM, Ollie.
I didn't touch anything on the limiter, so I think
I swear.
we're gonna blame Mike Lake for that one.
Mike Lake, it's all
Yeah,
your
it's
fault.
Mark Lake.
Here we go. First gear. Oh, yeah!
It rolls on nicely.
It does.
Very nicely.
Still a bit of a weird spot, right?
Yeah,
You can
there
feel
is
that, yeah?
Yeah, I reckon that's just down to AFRs.
Yeah.
Too rich at one point, I think,
Yeah.
when it's rolling into boost. But other than that, not bad.
Pretty good.
The torque and response, like compared to the 1.5, is significant.
So good, yeah?
Much better.
Oh!
Dog steer.
The thing is, you don't even realise how fast it is until you look at the speedo. No, legitimately, like it feels like we're going
Yeah.
slow. You look
I
at the
know.
speedo and you realise it's actually
I know.
hammering.
Oh yeah, just stopping at 7-Eleven to get some refreshments. Love the Evo bar. What'd you boys think?
It's impressive.
I mean, you tuned it, so
For how cheap it is, you can't really beat it.
yeah. This is the scariest shit ever. Oh, Lachlan, hold this. All right, because we do a lot of welding in the garage, we need to replace this every 6 to 12 months. This is a G-sized argon compressed UN 1006, and it's the size of Luka Mechnik. Come here, Luka Mechnik. And we're gonna deliver it in the Camry.
Ready?
Oh, it's slippy.
Yeah.
You go in first.
Got it?
Yep. Chilling.
I would just slide it on the camera.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, you good? Is it gonna fit under that? Yeah, just force it. I can do it. It's pretty good. Now get a really good grip. Yeah. You good? Oh! How did that guy do that, bro?
Bro, he had like his hand on the top and he was kicking it with his foot.
I know. Ready? Oh, jeez. Whoa! Oh my god. We got our new gas bottle finally where it needs to be. That was a bit of a pain, but only need to do that once every year, it seems, with the amount of welding that we do. Oh man. I really have fallen in love with the Lancer platform. It is so much fun. Like, the amount of money that I've spent on this thing is so small compared to the other builds that we've done. You know, we've got the Skyline, we've got the Chaser, we had the Skyline before that. This has cost me near to nothing to build. Obviously we used a lot of the parts of the Black Lancer, but it's so much more fun when you don't have to, you know, absolutely destroy your bank account in order to build a car, a fun car at least. But I'm so shocked that the stock clutch is still holding up in this thing, because I know when Mike Lake tried to tune his one, he was having issues with his clutch. Now, of course, we haven't actually put this on the dyno and it's not pushing crazy power, maybe, I don't know. But dyno tells me it's making maybe like 170 kilowatts, I don't know, 150 kilowatts, I don't know. Maybe I over exaggerated there, but such a fun little weapon. Anyway, we got so much more to do to this thing. We need to tidy this thing up, we need to lower it, we need to throw it on some wheels. So yeah, I'm gonna get to doing that. I really appreciate all of you guys for watching these videos, and thank you of course for coming to the car meet. But yeah, thank you. I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.
Get a wheel jump. Stop filming kids.